We did it. We actually beat Elon Musk in court. We beat his hundreds of hardcore legal team. This is why I start this lawsuit, to prove my innocence and to prove how vindictive this monster is. He's pure evil. Up to now, it's no movie that can paint it exactly how Elon Musk is in real life. He's enjoying hurting people. Like he's getting pleasure for seeing people hurt. He destroys so many people in Tesla that you have no idea.
Yes, that is a Tesla whistleblower revealing those pretty explosive revelations, I think. And the only reason that she's able to speak now is because she won this lawsuit that's been going on for years, or multiple lawsuits, really, over time, multiple court cases. And she's able to say these things when other people who work at Tesla and other Elon companies can't say these things. This was a interview with Times Radio in the UK. I'm going to show more and react to it. But first, a bit of background. Tesla whistleblower says Musk wanted to deport her team for raising brake issue, and that is in the interview as well. Former Tesla engineer Christina Balan, who was fired in 2014, so it's been going on since then, said in an interview that her entire team was threatened with deportation for taking her side when she brought up a brake safety issue directly to Elon Musk. Elon said he wanted things brought up directly to him in email, and then he fired them soon afterwards. She's now succeeded in throwing out Tesla's arbitration case against her in hopes to meet Tesla directly in open court in a case that could influence corporate policy nationwide. So it's still going on, but she is allowed to speak as much as she has now. Christina is a Romanian born engineer who formerly worked for Tesla on the Model S. Her contributions were significant enough that her initials appeared on the Model S battery pack. So that's pretty significant. She's obviously good at what she does, and that's the signature on the battery pack there to prove that was the case. So she was pretty high up, and as she said, she at the time was speaking to Elon and others high up in the company about her work. So she brought up a safety issue to Elon, and he at the time said this to employees: anyone at Tesla can and should email talk to anyone else according to what they think is the fastest way to solve a problem for the benefit of the whole company. You can talk to your manager's manager without his permission, and you can talk directly to a VP in another department. You can talk to me and can talk to anyone without anyone else's permission. Moreover, you should consider yourself obligated to do so until the right thing happens. That's from Elon in 2013. And so she did that, but it did not work out, as for many others, as she said. Let's carry on with the interviews, see what else she says, and I'll react to some of it, respond to it.
He destroys so many people in Tesla that you have no idea, but you don't know about them because each time, and this is very important, I wish, the entire world to find out, each time that you're signing an employment agreement with Tesla and with Musk, and not just with Tesla, Musk is asking this for every single person that he ever worked with, even if it's SpaceX or any other of his companies. He's forcing everybody to give up, and this is the pathetic part, their freedom of speech and the right to sue. The First and Seventh Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. Why do you think is that? Because without those, if they will not have the arbitration agreement, the whole smoke and mirrors that he paint around him, it will crumble to pieces.
Wow, it's incredible. So they get people, every employee, to sign an arbitration agreement where they can't talk if they get fired or whatever. So freedom of speech, this is a free speech absolutist, supposedly Elon, and he's silencing people like this. And she's only able to speak now because she went through this long court process, this lawsuit process, and she's won really the right to say what she is here, and it's really revealing. Let's see what else she says.
Just to see me in front of a judge. That's a lot of people there, they were asking me, it's like, how much do you want from me? How much do you want to, the judge to punish me for? And or I said, the only thing that I want to see him in front of a jury and a judge. Because for 10 freaking years, I'm fighting with him to just show my evidence, to show the truth. And he's going around the world and lying and faking that is the free speech absolutist when every single person of his team ever on all his companies doesn't have any rights on it. Imagine how frustrated are everybody in Tesla. But
so she's saying that there are other people who would like to say things, but they can't. They legally can't. And so Tesla and his other company, she said, gets people to sign this agreement where they're kind of stuck. They can't say anything even if they wanted to. And she's implying that there are a lot of other people who would like to.
What's the reason why I can talk to you right now, and the reason why I'm allowed to share all these insights inside Tesla and about Musk, is that in 2019, when I filed the lawsuit against Tesla, I won something that nobody else won before. I convinced the most senior federal judge of Washington state to void all the confidentiality clauses that Tesla and Musk had on me. And I convinced her to allow me to get, into a public court. Well, guess what? I won. After I fight with them, I won in June 2019 a right to get Musk to court and show his evidence. By the way, the reality of
Okay, here she's going to reveal about his work practice, how talking about sleeping on the floor of the factory and doing all that stuff, how hard he works. She's saying the reality here because she's allowed to, and it's pretty revealing what she says here. She's pretty critical, and she's pretty happy that they won this case. That was back in 2019, but she's just won another one as well. So this is ongoing. She wants to get Elon in court to reveal what she was not allowed to reveal for so many years, and it's pretty amazing. She goes on to talk about it again. This is the Times radio interview. I'm going to put a link to the whole interview. I encourage you to listen to the whole thing, but let's see what else she's got to say here about Elon's work practices.
Puffery that he's working, late and sleeping on the floor is just bullshit. Elon Musk was present in Tesla one day every other week. With small exception, Elon Musk was in Tesla every other Wednesday. Well, imagine how much can you do in 2 days per month.
This is not recently. This is years ago. So this is, he's been busy with government, with Doge recently, but this was way back when it was being said how hard he worked. But she said that he only shows up 2 days a month.
This is what he asked for us. If you have an issue, you have to contact me directly, which I did.
We saw that email about, say, contact me directly to solve your problems. She did that.
Not a lot of people did it. But what I can assure you is that 90% of the one who did, they got fired soon after. He didn't answer, he didn't said anything. Kind of like he didn't receive it. And 3 days after, because I was so in such a good relationship with all the vice presidents, I had quite a few patent ideas that I was dealing with just the highest, the second and the third in command on Tesla.
Got patent ideas, her signature's on one of those batteries. So she is obviously a valued engineer, or so she thought, one of the people that really was coming up with important stuff for Tesla at the time.
My desk was actually in the line of sight from him, a few desks away. And I was waiting to talk to him and present what I have in the emails. My friends, the VPs, were preparing to talk about everything that I emailed him. But instead of that, the HR and the legal department had another plan for me. They told me that they have some details to talk to me before I'm talking with Elon. So they knew about the meeting, and instead of taking me into a normal conference room that we had upstairs, they actually took me into a dungeon. If you saw one of those horror movies that you are getting into like a dark, factory, like abandoned, and you have like drapes coming out from the ceiling and you have to, take them away. Well, this is how it was.
It's like an interrogation room that you see from a movie by the sound of it. Instead of a nice conference room, took her somewhere obviously to intimidate.
And in there, they forced me to resign. They've told me that if
Now, how did they force her to resign? This is the interesting part that was also revealed. Listen to this.
I'm not resigning on the spot, they will deport my entire team, because the entire team of Tesla, the entire interior team, was backing me up.
So you said backing her up, her team of immigrants who are, skilled immigrants in there, obviously, and they threatened to fire the whole team if she didn't resign.
Their plan, Tesla's plan and legal department plan, was to convince the entire team and myself to close the investigation, an internal investigation that we open in the company, to fix a serious safety issue. I email him about a lot of stuff, because we had hundreds of defects per car, and we are sending the cars out like that, knowing how many.
Wow, hundreds of defects per car, she says, and they were sending them out. So she's implying that this was undercover. She was trying to bring up these problems, these issues, and they were being stifled, not being allowed to even bring them to attention. And they knew that there were hundreds of defects per car.
Like, I'm not kidding. We had cars with hundreds of defects, and their plan to shut us down didn't work so well. When they start, threatening everybody to keep their mouth shut, they end up to myself, and they said, if you don't drop the internal investigation, I can assure you that nobody will believe that the entire team was backing you up, and we will frame it in such a way that you will look like a disgruntled, crazy employee.
Wow.
And I said, what do you mean? Every single person that was backing me up and trying to fix the issues that we have in Tesla, each time that we try to fix something, we were threatened, we were, demoted, retaliated against. Well,
Wow, this is such revelations from the internal workings, the culture of Tesla. That what she's saying here, that they weren't allowed to say anything, they were being fired, demoted if they tried to bring up real issues. Remember, she's an engineer, a top engineer.
this time, their plan didn't work. The meeting that we had before we opened the internal investigation, the meeting that we tried to fix everything before we got to Elon, was with the vice president of engineering. He actually admitted that he was a safety issue. He said it. Of course, it's a safety issue. And guess what? He added, it's a safety issue bigger than Toyota recall. I couldn't believe.
Wow, so that was a big recall that she's talking about with Toyota there. So they were trying to prevent a recall. There have been a lot of recalls with the Cybertruck. It's been recalled many times, not just over-the-air updates, but actual recalls. That last one I reported about where the trim was coming off and was in danger of coming off if you're driving down the highway, so they had to fix that. There have been quite a lot of recalls, but this was another one years ago. She's in this case for years, and so this sounded really serious, and they were obviously trying to bury it. That's what she's saying.
And of course, the legal and the HR, they said, well, nobody will believe you. And I said, yes, for sure. But your problem is that I record the 2-hour conversation. And
Okay, so she recorded it. I assume that's a legal thing to do, given that she's got this far in the court case that she was allowed to do that. So it proves that that they knew, and they knew it was bad, and they knew that that it should have been a recall, but they were bearing it.
You know what was funny? That I've heard the same story, not just in US. There are people in Norway and in Germany that they did the same thing, and they were out of the blue fired in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
All right, so that says a lot about the culture, as I said, inside Tesla. There, trying to stop people talking, trying to stop people bringing up issues like this that could result in a recall. This is really serious stuff, and she's allowed to say this now after years and years of battling. And she wants to get Tesla back into court to actually present what she has to present. And she said in this interview that it's not about the money. She just actually wants to do the right thing, as she has all along. And, she said that Elon Musk, he is pure evil and very vindictive, a vindictive monster, which is incredible. I've been seeing more of these things lately. When I started this podcast about investing, I did not know that I'd end up here with this kind of thing. It's just where it's led to, and Elon being involved in the government as well, and in politics. And speaking of politics, have you subscribed to my politics channel, new channel? There's 6 videos up there now, nearly 600 subscribers, so it's just going well on the initial videos. I'm going to keep doing that. I've had some positive feedback about this. This is from on wider issues than here, although the last one was about a Doge whistleblower, not somebody working with Doge, but somebody working in the government department. That was an extended interview with him. So Elon having a few whistleblowers getting out to say what's really going on. Pretty incredible, really. That was amazing. That's taken really 10 years or more that she's been battling to be able to say these things. So as I said, I'll put a link to that full interview there if you want to go and see that. But right here, I'm going to put a related video if you're watching here on YouTube right here, and a subscribe link. Do subscribe here if you're not subscribed already, and do subscribe to the politics channel. I'm going to put a link to the politics channel in the pinned comment and in the description as well. And thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.